I'm here with Hinewai Ormsby, who is the chair of the Hawke's Bay Regional Council. Kia ora, Hinewai, and thanks for joining me.
Kia ora, Andrew. Nice to be with you again.
Yes, indeed. Hinewai, it's been a long year. I think anyone who lives in Hawke's Bay will say that. Obviously, the not highlight, but the low light of the year was the cyclone Gabrielle. Just tell us how things are going, because obviously the council has a lot of remedial work and recovery and that to do. How are things going so far?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to acknowledge the devastation from all the way from Wairoa down to Paronga and just the scale of destruction that was experienced across the region in February. And so with something so significant, there takes a lot of time and recovery and effort across the region. So we've had incredible support this whole year from within the region, but also at a national level and at international level. So we've seen some incredible collaboration, and we need that to keep going into next year. At the moment, we do have a big infrastructure job in terms of repair, in terms of building resilience. And for the Hawke's Bay Regional Council, it's a $350 million flood protection job across 5 to 7 areas, the 5 2C areas that we know of, and then there is Paronga and Wairoa, which we're still to assess what are the solutions to the flood protection schemes to be built there. So that's going to take 5 to 6 years to actually complete. But, you know, we're trying to move communities to a place of certainty as soon as we can. Silt and debris is probably another big job that isn't quite complete. It's over halfway there, but it needs a further 60 million in investment to finish the job of cleaning up all the silt, waste, woody debris across our region. So those are 2 big pieces of work that people will see happening. And then, of course, there's our regulatory functions and the shifting environment that we have with the new government around what should be delivered, particularly around freshwater management, and making sure our partnerships with our mana whenua and industry are really strong going forward. So we've got still a lot on our plate looking forward to 2024. But look, we're going to face that because we've learned how to be adversity warriors through this year's events.
So, so there's a lot of work, as you say. Now, you talk about the flood protection. Is it build back the same or is it build back better?
It's build back new. So there are 5 to 7 new flood protection schemes to be built to move communities from 2C or 2A to 1, back to 1. Now, all the damage that was done by the cyclone of our existing flood protection scheme, that has completed, and that was to immediately build back to what it was in order to beat any further rain or future rain that communities might get anxious over. So that's 6 kilometres worth of stop bank breaches. They were done in an incredibly fast pace, but to a better quality standard within 6 to 7 months after the cyclone. So we've repaired, and then we've got new works to do.
And now, obviously, this costs a lot of money. How are you paying for it?
Well, one of the milestones, I think, across the region was our agreement with central government, and it was with Labour before we had a turnover of government. That was a significant investment from the government, so $300 million into flood protection, and we will co-invest around 44 as the Hawke's Bay Regional Council, so around $350 million going towards flood protection.
Now, do you need any more money, or is that enough?
I think, like when you build anything, whether it's roads or bridges, bridges or flood protection or even a house, which I know many of our communities are going through, things don't stay the same cost. So we have to build in those factors, those contingencies, and we have to work really closely with the government when we take to them our business cases for those flood protection solutions. Work really closely around, look, if there are overruns, we need to work through that, because we need to build these flood protection schemes. They are fully aware of that. They understand this is core infrastructure, and I'm sure they'll work really closely if we need to alter some of those costs.